Backdoors Floor 2 trailer is finally out after such a long wait, and today we're gonna be breaking down the trailer to discover everything that we can find throughout this entire trailer video. So the trailer starts off by showing us door number 113. So now we know that the number doesn't restart from 0 and actually continues from door 101. Then the camera pans out showing us two very interesting things already. Here you can see a glow stick on the ground and a toolbox on the left side of the door, meaning we might be able to open it up to collect some loots just like the loot boxes in the hotel. And the glow stick is maybe an item that you can interact with. Now in this scene, we're in the same room again, but the camera is further back. Here we can see another door to the left and water on the ground. Now the door to the left could either be a fake door just like the dupe, or it could be a small room just like in hotel. And the water area could possibly contain swimming section. Now if you look at the lighting carefully near the water, it kind of seems like the moonlight falling from above. So maybe there's no roof here and that's why the rain ended up flooding the ground, because we already know that it rains a lot in the Doors universe. Now the lights flicker and Redibles goes and hides in the closet. Also another thing to notice is that the light started flickering before he could even open the door. Anyways, when Redibles goes into the closet, it looks like the player was expecting Rush to come from behind because the player turned back, but Rush instead ends up coming from the front, which is something new to the Rush mechanics. Interesting. Also, the player just ignores the room to his right. Now what's more interesting is where the player goes after dying. So here we can see the moon, which is apparently guiding light, and it seems like the beacon is in the water because you can see the surface of the water and the water bubbles too. This is such a cinematic and gorgeous shot. So I guess that is gonna be our new death screen. And I would love to know and learn more about guiding light because we still don't exactly know what it is. Now in the next scene we see another room with ladder. Now this ladder could be a part of the room or maybe something that you can carry around like in The Last of Us. In the next scene we see a massive cave with an opening which kind of looks like a giant mouth, and then to the right we have another path. You know, it would be pretty interesting if we actually get multiple routes that end up leading us into the same room later on. And again, we're in a mines, so I guess it's kind of normal to have multiple paths and caves everywhere. Now in the next scene, I would like to point out this little room because it kind of seems like it leads to nowhere. And these door frames were also seen in one of the rooms that we have seen earlier. So this could possibly be some hidey holes that you can enter to avoid maybe like a massive entity. Let's just keep that in mind for now. Now if you continue watching, you can see something jump down from the ceiling to this guy's face. And that is creepy. When the player gets closer, you can see that it kind of looks like Screech with no texture and bigger tentacles. So it's most likely a new entity in the game which is trying to get super romantic with the player. Chill out. Also, here's my little theory. This thing jumps on your face and if you cannot get it off in time, it infects you and you die, and then it takes over your body and becomes a zombie and then chases the player down. How's that? Sounds like an interesting one. Anyways, in the next scene, bro just explodes. So if you look carefully, it kind of looks like Red turned on his lighter because he's holding something in his hand and it sparkles for a split second and then he just explodes. So if you notice the room, you can see that it is full of gas, meaning you gotta avoid using any flammable items in such rooms or you're gonna turn into ashes. And this is where the fun begins. Minecart! This is most likely a chase sequence. Here at the beginning you can see two tracks, so you can most likely choose which way you would want to go. My theory is that there's probably gonna be a sign that shows us which way to go and we have to pull the lever at the right time. And at the end the player ducks down to avoid being hit. In the next scene you can see some bats like creatures flying around, and you can also see eyes, but it's like turned off. And when the player gets close, these things disappear and eyes turns on right in front of the player's face. And then I noticed this thing which looks like a helmet with the headlight facing the closet. So I guess the player can probably use that. And here you can notice some eggs on the ground. I guess you might not want to step on that. But after that, if you look at the door, you can see that it kind of looks like a metal door and it has a fire sign on it. so that has to be the room with the gas. Then in the next scene, the player hides in the closet, and I assume that maybe this time Rush came from behind, so maybe Rush can either come from front or back, which makes the game a lot harder. After that, it shows us a puzzle with the number pad in the middle, some stuff on the top, and some stuff at the bottom too, with a lever on the side. Here you can also notice a pile of multiple screeches, and they seem completely decapitated. Maybe they're dead, or maybe they're combining to turn into something bigger. After that, we see a generator kind of thingy, and the player puts a light in it. Now if you notice down here, you can see some screws, but they also look like these on top of the puzzle. After that, the player gets jump scared by Screech, and then we see a few stuff. 2 different paths, the end of tracks, and then you see Redibles covered his face as if he got jump scared, and there's items on the floor around him. Now maybe the entity knocked the items out of Redibles' inventory by the jump scare, or maybe my theory could be correct about the entity killing the players and taking over their body. Like imagine Red got killed here and now his body's possessed, and that's why the items drop. Or maybe I'm just thinking way too much, but it's just a theory. What do you guys think? Anyways, right after that happens, you can see a bright purple light show up behind the player, which could be eyes or something else. Then in the next frame, Red gets killed by these things, and then again you can see these helmets kind of things glowing. So maybe these are not really helmets, these could be eggs or something. Maybe if you step on it by accident, these things come out and kill you. And when Red falls, holy crap, look at what happened to his body. That looks hella gross. He got like something growing all over his body. I don't know why, but I feel like they took a lot of inspirations from The Last of Us. And then Screech attacks again, and now we finally see him again. The figure is back, stronger than ever. Then in the end, we get trolled by the January 2025, and then they actually reveal the date, which is August 30th. But we should definitely keep January 2025 in our mind, cause maybe there could actually be something that comes out on that month. Also, if you notice here, you can see the Screech pile again, and there's also a cart to the right with dirt inside of it. And Creekcraft says that he sees a body there. I don't know, maybe there could be one. But that is not it, cause all the way at the end, they reveal a new entity. This entity pops out of a hole in the ground and places its giant tentacle, and its teeth are slightly visible. Now this is most likely a new entity, or it could be Jeff, cause he has tentacles too. Or maybe it's the combined version of the Screeches. And remember how I said back then that maybe those things could be hidey holes? So maybe we're gonna be hiding from that giant thingy inside of those holes. Finally, I want to mention something that I found pretty interesting. Now I might be hella stupid, which I obviously am, but this seems like a crazy coincidence. So hear me out. So they start off with door number 13, then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then door number 19, 20, and then 21. He even puts a 2 on the number pad, and then 22, 23, 24, and finally 25. I don't know what that is supposed to prove, but I'm just saying it just in case it means something. Now that is everything that I've found in this trailer so far. I could be wrong about some other stuff, or I could have missed something in it. If you guys find anything, you can of course comment it down. But anyways, that was it with the trailer breakdown. If you guys enjoyed the video and wanted me to stream Floor 2, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Tell me what you think of the trailer so far and whether if you're hyped for Floor 2. But that was it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.